Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Konich-Yeehaw podcast. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Jared.
And we are going to talk about what we are watching this season, fall 2023. Mm-hmm. And it is quite a bit.
Yeah, this is a really good season.
This is a good season.
Yeah.
So to start off, start with the season 2 of the season, Spy X Family. Which maybe kind of feels like a season 3 because
it's kind of a season 3.
The first season was split into 2, whatever. But this is technically season 2. So far, it's still very cute.
Yeah.
What I am noticing, just in these first 3 episodes, is that we've lost the plot just a little bit.
Yes.
And maybe it'll pick back up more later on in the season. But we ended season 1 with Lloyd finally meeting the bad guy that he's after.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's how that season ended. Is that they met. I mean, it was very brief, and a lot of people were there. You know, like it wasn't some showdown, but they met, and he was like, "Oh, contact finally." And in these first 3 episodes, they've all kind of felt like filler.
100%.
So maybe we'll get more like actual plot. Obviously, it's still a funny show. Still very funny. Definitely still enjoy watching it. So that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, it's nice to see you're actually being acknowledged and existing, because that didn't really happen in the last season.
Yeah, that's fair.
And, like, they actually talk about how she's an assassin and doing assassin things.
Yeah. And then the other one, we mentioned it in our last season review, but Dark Gathering is still continuing.
Yes.
And I guess there's not too much more to say on that. If you watched our season review, other than it is continuing, still good. Little like spirit hunting, spirit of the week.
Yeah, but unlike what we talked about in the season review, is that now in this second half of the show, it's a lot more serious.
Yes,
it's a lot more serious.
A lot more serious.
Also, well,
the danger is greater.
Yes, the danger is greater. It's a lot more gruesome. And the spirits are more well defined. They're more unique now.
Yes, definitely.
And so that's something cool to see. Like I said in our season review, the first half of the season almost seemed kind of like a prologue to what is now the second half, and will maybe continue into a second season. And, you know, now things are serious. Now they're like, oh, we're actually moving the plot forward into like, okay, this is our goal. This is our end goal.
Right. So excited to see where that goes.
Yes. Again, still very cool to see an actual horror show in an anime season, because there aren't a lot of them. There really aren't.
No, there's not. There's not really. I feel like whenever you look up horror anime, you get a lot of like Junji Ito animated, because Junji Ito does manga. And his stories are, so popular that they are like kind of several iterations of them being animated, but that's kind of it.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I mean, there's Mirko.
But
that was also pretty like Ghost of the Week. Yeah, but it's cool. And okay. And like, so another thing about this horror that like makes me appreciate it so much is that it is funny. You know, they have funny moments.
Yeah.
But like, it's serious. It's like pretty serious, and like
they almost die.
Yeah. But it's not like cringy.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of cringy horror that's like over the top. And so this is like like, I don't want to say realistic, but like this is like horror of ghost stories that would be real stories.
That would be real. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's cool to see that, like, horror that's not cringy over the top.
Right. And can actually get pretty scary.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just put it out there. Like, you get some jump scares, you get some, like, the spirits have a particular power that is, like, really scary. Like, I thought that the chanting monk,
oh, that was so cool.
He was so cool.
Yeah,
and
that was really
so
cool.
freaky. So yeah, that is really cool about them, that they actually seem like powerful, scary spirits.
Yeah.
Okay, now getting into...
Well, first I want to talk about what I'm watching.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
go
watching
ahead.
one extra thing.
Right.
I am watching Girlfriend season 2. This is... I love me a good polyamorous show and not a harem.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, we've talked about this before, about how, like, harem anime is not really like what a harem actually is. So a harem anime will be like, oh, all the girls are into the guy, but he never actually chooses one.
Right.
While this show is like, he has a girlfriend, and then he's like a huge dumbass that just like cannot, but has like a really good heart. And this other girl is like, confesses her feelings to him, and he like falls in love with her. And so like then he's like, I have to have 2 girlfriends because I can't break her heart.
Right.
And then so in the first season, there was the original girlfriend's best friend, which also likes him, but is like, oh, I can't like him because he's my best friend's boyfriend. And then there was also this streamer that was introduced that is just like super into him, but he has literally no interest in her. It's pretty funny, especially in the second season. So they've really like, the second season, the whole plot is that now it's summer break, and so him and his 2 girlfriends live together. Then the best friend was like, I'm going to live with you during summer break so that you guys don't do anything bad, so that I can try to break up your 2-timing and just like get you to, you know, only date my best friend.
Right.
Stupid plot. And then like the streamer girl is like so like not even a part of the plot, like at all. Like they have like pretty much gotten rid of her to the point that the like the halfway bumpers are like, it'll be like her and she's like, this doesn't count as screen time. And then they were just like I don't think she was even in the first episode.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And so third episode, they go to the festival, like the summer festival, and you know, hijinks ensue. The streamer girl like is trying to get his attention, and he is so not about it. He is just like pushing her out of the way, and she'll give this like really heartfelt like, you know, I love you so much, I just want some attention. And he's just like, sorry, no. And like, and he gives the reason of like, you know, I don't watch your videos anymore, I don't really want to
follow you anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, I don't want to interact with you anymore because like I'm afraid of falling for you.
Okay.
And so like, I like that because it's like, this is a show where he has these 2 girlfriends, but he only he doesn't want to build a harem. And so it's like almost like a respect thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. It is total like trash TV, like, and I love my trashy shows.
Of course, they're fun.
But yeah, it's super good, and we'll talk about. You know what we should talk about?
Let's just segue right into it.
Yeah.
Segue right into the next show, the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love Me.
Yes.
Which we're gonna just say 100 Girlfriends.
Yeah, 100 Girlfriends.
Yeah, but that is the full title.
Yeah.
And if you couldn't tell, it's about a guy who gets 100 girlfriends. Now, to actually explain why. There's this boy in high school. Now he's in high school, right? Yeah. Boy in high school. And he has been rejected 100 times. And there's nothing wrong with him. That's like a plot point.
Yeah.
Is that even his friend is like, I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, you're decent looking enough. You're nice. Like, you're not, like, a loser. I don't get it. And he's like, yeah, I don't get it either. So he goes to a shrine and says, please, I just want, like, I want a high school romance. Essentially. He's like, I want my time to come. And the deity, the god, comes out and says, hey, so about that, I goofed up. I really goofed up. So I accidentally made you like really unlucky, like when you were born. So sorry about that. But I'll make up for it by, since you've been rejected 100 times, I'm going to give you 100 girlfriends, 100 soulmates. Soulmates, yeah. Soulmates. I'm going to give you 100 soulmates. And of course he's like, that's great. Like, I can kind of get my pick, right?
Right.
And the god is like, no. The catch is that all of these girls are going to be madly in love with you. And anyone that you reject is going to die.
It's such a stupid plot. I love it.
Yeah. So then he's like, well, I don't want anybody to die, right? Because he's a nice guy. So then that's how the hijinks ensue. Right off the bat, he gets 2 girlfriends because they bump into him at the same time.
Yeah.
It's the tsundere, like super tsundere, and then one that's more like girly.
Yeah.
Girly.
Like the nice girl.
Yeah, like the nice girl. And the thing is that he really wants to make them happy.
Yes, he also has immaculate riz.
He has so much riz. And he's like crazy romantic.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely crazy romantic. So he will do anything to keep them both happy, and he doesn't lie to them.
Oh yeah.
No, he says, I mean, okay, he doesn't tell them about the whole like you will die thing.
Yeah.
What I mean is that he says he like gets them together and is like, look, I can't pick one, so how about you guys both be my girlfriend? And of course at first they're kind of like, oh, like that's dumb, like you can't do that. You can't 2-time us. But once again, the whole thing is that, like, he is their soulmate also. So they don't want to reject him. So they just go along with it.
Yeah.
And they do kind of have, like, some, competitiveness.
Yeah, it's cute.
And it's pretty cute.
Yeah, it's really funny because this guy is insane.
He is insane.
So, like, they try to come up with a situation or like a workaround of who gets to have his first kiss, because he's never kissed anyone before, and both of them want their kiss to be the first kiss. And so he does this really convoluted thing to make it to where it's unbiased.
Of course, like blindfold, earplugs.
Yeah, it just does not work out.
Yeah.
And so they all 3 kiss at the same time.
Like lean in and kiss.
Yes.
Which
was really funny.
It was really funny because the girls had to get over the fact that they were going to kiss each other.
Yeah.
And now he gets to kind of like make fun of them for it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, but you guys already kissed, so why are y'all mad? Like, and then just recently we introduced the 3rd girlfriend, who, once again, immaculate riz, crazy romantic. This guy is insane. Such a nice guy who just is gonna get the most girlfriends.
Right.
So the third girl is the shy one, the one who isn't really good at talking. So
who can't talk.
Well, who can't talk. She like, I feel like, doesn't she get like 1 or 2 words out? But like,
no,
not really.
it's only, she only speaks in the
book.
In the book. No, meaning like in the like retelling of the book.
In the past.
In the like
past tense.
No,
memory,
like
sorry.
In not even in memory. It was whenever she was the princess and he was the prince, like retelling the story. That was the only time we hear her voice.
So she's the librarian's assistant, and she has a favorite book, and she's memorized this book. And what she does is she can find lines in the book to explain what she wants to say. And it's a fantasy fairy tale kind of book. And he's like cool with it, you know?
Yeah.
He reads the book, he reads the next book, they like kind of bond over it. And then he makes her an app, like an audiobook of this book that does not have an audiobook. He types it all in, like, himself.
Yeah.
Makes it text to speech so she can like click on the lines and it'll say it on her phone. And it is so adorable.
It is.
It is so really cute.
Yeah.
And she is like, I'm not worthy. Like, you know, of course, she's like, this is like so crazy. No one's ever been this nice to me. Also, she knows that he has 2 other girlfriends. And that does also make her pretty sad. But then he's like, no, you don't get it. You can be my 3rd girlfriend.
I know.
And she says, okay.
Yeah.
And then the
much.
episode ends with him introducing her, like, hey, so this is going to be the 3rd one, okay? And of course, they're like, what do you mean? But
actually, the tsundere is like, what are you talking about? But the really nice girl is
nice
like,
girl,
oh, you have so much love.
You have so much love. Isn't that so sweet? Yeah, so it's pretty funny and ridiculous. If you like a good, funny, ridiculous comedy. There are some, like, it does have lewd jokes. I just want to like put that out there. It does have lewd joke because the nice girl does have big bosoms and knows it. And there are like upskirt shots and things like that. Just like, by the way, it's not all innocent, sorry, but we make the joke that it seems like the person who both wrote and maybe even draws this maybe has made a hentai game or 2 in their past.
It really looks like it.
It kind of looks like it. Not that it's like there's like no nudity, but like it gives that kind of vibe. Still pretty cute though. Okay, next. Let's go on to the next romance. Our dating story. The experienced you and the inexperienced me.
Which is a misleading title.
It's pretty misleading. So, it's a pretty classic nerdy boy gyaru girl. Popular girl.
Don't get me wrong, I love a gyaru.
We love the gyaru. We love a gyaru.
Yeah.
So, the story starts with our popular boy. Sorry, I said that wrong. With our nerdy boy, with his nerdy friends, making a really dumb bet about test scores.
Yes.
And it was actually who did the best.
These like incel friends.
Oh my gosh, his friends are terrible.
They are so awful.
They're awful to him.
And they're like, well, we're all degenerates and stupid because we watch streamers.
Because we were streamers. We watch streamers and we game, and that's all we do.
Yeah, and they were like, whoever does best on the exams.
That we all think we did bad on.
Yeah, that we all think we did bad on. Okay, you know what? Actually, the main character never even like agreed on the bet. They just kind of like went with it.
Right.
And he made like 70s while they made like 40s and 30s.
And yeah, it was bad. Like they did bad.
And then they have to do whatever the lowest scoring person says.
Yeah.
And he says, confess to your crush.
Confess to a crush. Yeah.
Which I will say, this is such like virgin incel, like.
No, his friends are terrible.
Okay, no, I mean him at the beginning. Because she, like, this girl, he has like no interest in like anyone in the classroom, and then the Gyaru girl is like, can I borrow your pencil? And he falls in love.
Yeah, because a girl has never talked to him before, Jared. You have to imagine that.
Yeah, so like it's very like, yeah.
So he does it, and his friends watch in the bushes, and they're like, he it's gonna be so embarrassing. He confesses to the girl, and she says, okay.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not doing anything right now.
I'm not doing anything right now. Do you want to go on a date? And he's like, what? Like, are you serious? And she's like, yeah, let's like go on a date. Much to the friend's dismay. And that's how this relationship starts. Yeah.
Fast forward a little bit.
Literally just a little bit.
Yeah, she takes him to her like house and to her bedroom, and she's like, hey, we gonna have sex or what?
Yeah, she says, aren't we gonna have sex?
Yeah, and he's like, what?
Yeah, he's like, ooh, should I pass up on this opportunity to maybe lose my virginity, or should I be like responsible and respectable?
Yeah, he's like, I just want a relationship.
Yeah, so he does choose to be responsible and respectable, and says, I think we should get to know each other a little bit better before we do that. And she was like, oh.
Yeah, and she's just, okay, in the first episode and some in the other episodes, she makes this face that's just like, huh?
Yeah, like, but essentially there are rumors that go around the school that this girl, Runa, sleeps with everybody, essentially. Yeah,
she has a new boyfriend every couple of months.
And she like has a lot of sex.
Yeah. And the experienced part is that she has had sex.
The experienced part is that she's had sex. Now, the thing is that she's very naive, and she thinks that all guys want is sex, which is why she puts herself out there like that. So she has had sex with a lot of different guys, and all of these guys obviously talk shit about her behind her back and spread all these nasty rumors like, oh, she's so easy and whatever. But it's really because she just doesn't know what a relationship is.
Yeah, she's never had a meaningful relationship before.
Like, she
and
thinks
that's why our main character caught her off guard so much.
Yeah, like she thinks that, oh, I've had like all these boyfriends and they just don't work out for me. And it is kind of because she just puts herself out there. Like, I mean, they get bored. That's like what it really comes down to. So she is caught off guard by the nice guy, right? And they do, like, they go on dates, like real dates.
Yeah, it gets kind of cute. Okay.
It gets pretty cute.
Like,
it gets pretty cute.
She buys like a matching phone case for him, and then he
like goes through effort to do it.
Yeah,
also.
And then he like knows that she likes boba, so he goes to like all of the boba shops in Akihabara and
in Harajuku.
Yeah, he goes to like every boba shop in Harajuku and makes like a map for her.
Yeah, of like the best ones.
Yeah,
it gets pretty cute. Oh my goodness, what was I gonna say? That oh my goodness, what was I gonna say? Oh, that he is still very awkward about the whole situation, though. He doesn't want her to talk to him at school.
Yeah, he like doesn't want rumors about himself, and so he's like, don't interact with me at school.
Super lame behavior.
Yeah, except at the end of the third episode, he's like, I am her boyfriend.
Yes, he confesses.
In front of the class, and specifically in front of his former love that rejected him and just moved back into the class.
Of course, we have to have that character.
Yeah.
To stir things up. So he's inexperienced in the fact that he's just never really dated anybody. But he's a nice guy. It's kind of all I have to say about it. And it is really funny that it is the experienced you and the inexperienced me, because honestly they're both,
they're both
inexperienced. It's literally that whole part of the title is just talking about sex.
Yeah.
So it's still cute though. And I think that they are going to be good for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the forbidden deductions. Ron Kamanohashi's forbidden deductions. Now, we did just finish a detective show.
We did.
And with that in mind, this one is a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Just a little. Because Undead Girl Murder Farce was so good. But I think that Forbidden Deductions has potential.
Mm-hmm.
It is I mean, it's kind of it's kind of buddy cop. It's a cop, a detective who is like naive and kind of foolish and, you know, the nice guy, right? And then there is Ron, who is the genius, but he's super aloof and not really good with people.
Yeah, and also he has this thing where he uses like
he
uses like a Gios power to like make the culprit kill themselves.
Yes, so that's his flaw. Ron is the like the greatest detective ever. But he got kicked out of college because
from detective school.
Yeah, he got kicked out of detective school and was forbidden from ever being a detective because he made a lot of people
he killed all of his culprits.
He killed all of the culprits. So essentially he gets into this mode where he's like, if I've deduced you as like the murderer, because so far it's been murder.
Yeah.
I deduce you as the murderer. I think you should die. And I think you should be the one to do it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay. And then they go and they, do that. So that's his fatal flaw. He apparently doesn't know that he's doing it. Mm-hmm. It's like real hypnosis stuff. So there's that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad.
It's not bad. We'll see what other mysteries unfold.
I think it's going to be pretty one note. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's fair. So far, it is like mystery of the week. There aren't any like arcs. Mm-hmm. Not really. Although I will say this last episode that we watched, episode 3,
it's about to go into a second.
Is going into a second episode. So do with that what you will, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
Essentially. Next, let's talk about Undead Unluck.
What do you think about this show?
I like this show.
Okay, I do.
Okay. Okay. Undead Unluck, super duper switching gears here, is this like futuristic...
I can't tell if it's apocalypse or not. I think it is.
Kind of apocalyptic. I think it is apocalyptic. Show where there are these superhumans. I'm sure there are regular humans as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know where they are.
Yeah.
The regular humans have yet to be seen in this show. So far, all we have are superhumans. So our main character, the girl, she is unlucky, but like supernaturally unlucky, to where anybody that she touches just has some of the worst luck you can imagine. Like,
well, everyone dies. Like everyone that she touches dies. It just the severity of it is circumstantial.
Okay, yeah. So everybody that she touches dies in like really unfortunate ways, in random ways also. And then we have a guy named character who goes by, she calls him Andy or Zombie.
You know what's really funny?
Or what?
Is that in like the first episode, she was like, you need a name. I'll call you Andy. And then never called him Andy in the next 2 episodes.
Just calls him
Zombie.
Yeah. So essentially he can't die.
Yeah.
That's his thing. So they are undead and unluck.
He has super regenerative powers.
Super regenerative powers. Nothing can kill him. He is insane.
Yes. He's lived a long time.
He's lived a very long time. He's like crazy, like, because he doesn't care anymore. Yeah. Essentially is what it comes down to. He's learned a lot. He's big, strong, blasting off his limbs to fly, like he's a super crazy guy. So they meet. I kind of forgot how. A fated
I think
meeting.
it was they just happened to meet.
They just like happened to meet.
Oh,
right?
It's because she was gonna kill herself.
She was gonna kill herself.
And then he's like, "Hey, don't do that.
Hey, don't do it."
And then he like grabs her, and she's like, "You shouldn't have done that." And then he gets hit by the train.
That's right. Okay, that's right. So Andy, zombie, whatever, is like, I really want to die. This has gone on too long. And he's like, I just need you to give me so much unluck that I die.
Yeah, he's like, if anyone's going to be able to kill me, it's going to be you.
It's going to be you. And of course, she's like she's a shut-in because she didn't touch. I mean, like she had like no human contact for forever, which is why she was going to go jump off a bridge. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I don't want to do that. Like that sounds awful. But through his wacky antics and personality, he's growing on her, you know? Yeah. Especially since it was revealed that the more intimate the touch is, the more severe the unluck is.
And how
much she likes them. So, for example, they were in a sticky situation, and she gave him a peck on the cheek. And a meteorite fell from the heavens and crushed everything. And so he's like, that's awesome. So we should fuck, right?
Yeah.
That's immediately where it went. Immediately.
Yeah.
And of course she's like, no. Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, so this is like a challenge. Like, I have to get you to fall for me.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get her to fall for her. Not like in any grand romantic way, but just like essentially by proxy.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, essentially by proxy, by being a cool guy.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
it's working, all I'm saying.
It is, yeah. What was it? It's interesting because they immediately are like, there are rules to your unluck. Right. So if we figure out those rules, then we can use your unluck to our favor.
Right, yeah.
And they figure it out pretty quickly. Like, they start figuring out things pretty quickly.
Yeah, because she never tried to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like I said, she was scared of it. She didn't want to hurt anybody. While he has spent hundreds of years trying to kill himself, so knows a lot of things about himself and his powers and what he can and can't do and things like that. So, now, there are other superhumans out there in this universe, and they're all also crazy.
Yes, they are superhumans that are hired by this organization specifically to kill other superhumans.
Yeah, so there's only allowed to be 10 superhumans in the world, but according to the government. We'll just call them the government. According to the government, there's only allowed to be 10. So those 10 hunt out and kill anybody else outside of those 10. They meet 2 of them, and they get into a little fight, and kill one of them on purpose, because they're like, the girl, she's like, wait, I could join you guys, and then I wouldn't have to fight, right? She's like, that sounds nice. So they kill one, but then the other one they can't defeat.
Yeah, he's too strong. And so, but he's like, you guys are pretty cool.
And I don't want to separate you.
Yeah.
He's like, you guys seem pretty attached to each other.
So here's where the next one is going to be.
You can try to kill them.
If you want to try to kill them.
And then I'll put in a good word for you two, and you can join us as a pair. So that's kind of where the story is going. They have gone to Russia now. They were in Japan, and now they are in Russia, getting ready to fight this big bad one.
Yeah, who is in love with Zombie. And they have a past together. Because he's gone through this whole thing before. Like, this has been his whole life. Like, being trying to avoid these superhuman killers and having tests done on him and things like that.
Right. So, lots of action. Very cool. Funny.
It's David Production.
Yeah,
actually
David
doing
Production.
it. So it is very good.
Yes. Okay. Next, changing vibes again. I want to talk about Stardust Telepath. Stardust Telepath is another. It might be a rom-com.
Yeah.
It's another high school slice of life about a girl who doesn't quite fit in, and she really likes aliens, and
She has a hard time speaking.
She has a hard time
severe
speaking.
social anxiety.
She can speak, but she has a hard time speaking. And she thinks that aliens would understand her better, and she just wants to go to outer space and meet aliens. And people think that's weird. Then there's another girl who, her name's Yu. She bursts into her life and is like, "Hi, I'm Yu and I'm an alien." And of course everybody's like, "Ha ha ha," like in the classroom, right? But our main character is like, "An alien? I want to meet one of those." And then they start a little alien friendship because Yu is like, "Yeah, I'm an alien," which is still debatable, by the way.
Yes, she does this thing where she's like, "I have forehead pathy, where I can read your emotions if we touch foreheads together."
She's really gay.
Yeah.
It's really gay.
And so she's like, the main character's like, "Ah, you are an alien." And so alien girl woke up in a lighthouse with no memories.
But a school ID.
So she went to school. And she's like, "I don't know anything about what I used to be, but I have a good feeling I'm an alien."
I mean, she lives in a lighthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so her whole, like, is she an alien thing, that is up in the air. It is. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
We only recently added another character to the alien squad. Not that she's an alien, but call them the alien squad because their goal is to build a rocket and go to outer space. And for the most part, the show is just cute.
It is, yeah.
It's pretty adorable. And I like watching it because I like how cute it is. They're all very sweet.
Yes.
And I think that's nice. Okay, last show. And this is one where we were at first back and forth on if we wanted to watch.
Yeah.
And now we are going to commit to watching it.
Yes, I've heard. So one of my friends actually got super into it, has read like the light novels now, and is like, "Oh my God, this is like the best Yuri content ever made."
Yes, this is kind of the season of Yuri. Just saying. So I'm in love with the Villainess, which is an isekai. So if you watched our isekai episode, first of all, isekai means you were born into another world. Typically it's like normal modern day people, typically men also, born into some sort of fantasy other world. And also you maybe remember that we don't really watch isekai.
Yeah.
Like ever. Because I mean a lot of them are kind of cringe. And not, and like it's cringe. Cringe is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
So I heard of I'm in Love with the Villainess on Twitter, or whatever you want to call it, because I follow a voice actor who is doing English dub for this. And it looked cute. That's kind of all I can say is that it looked cute. And I was like, I don't know, maybe this will be the isekai. So we watched the first episode, and then I was like, I don't know, it's still like pretty cringy. But then I kept seeing things on Twitter, and I was like, okay, fine. We need to. I think we just need to commit, right? We just need to commit, and it is pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. I really like how it
is very forward in what it is.
Yes,
in that it is a lesbian romance.
Yes. So our main character that gets isekai'd, Rei. She is a worker, she's a, you know how these isekais go, an average gal, and she really likes this otome game, which, what actually, do you know what otome translates to?
No, but it's a dating sim.
It's a dating sim. Okay. So she likes this otome game, and she's played it over and over and over again. She like knows all the routes. She's obsessed with it, all that stuff. But her favorite character is the side character, Villainess, Claire. That's her favorite character. That's the one that she's like obsessed with. So she does like literally just wake up in this other world. She might have died. Who knows? The game really just starts with, I was an everyday worker and I liked this game. And then one day I woke up and I was in it. Like, it was pretty much just like that.
Yeah, pretty much. She's like, I recognize this uniform. I'm in the video game.
I'm in the video game now. So maybe she's dead. Who knows? Regardless, she is in the game, and the first thing she does is find her favorite character and declare her love.
Yeah.
Over and over. And continuously in these coming episodes does she do that. And her only goal is to just be close to this character. And as the name suggests, she is the villainess. Because this is a dating sim, you know, the main character is supposed to be going after men, right? And this villainess, Claire, serves as kind of the competing girl, quote unquote, right? Like, she's the mean girl of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But Ray loves her. And Claire doesn't know what to do with that and gets kind of uncomfortable because she's like, what do you mean? Like, huh? So I really like this isekai because it does a lot to flip the isekai genre on its head. It does a lot. One, as I already said, was it being a female main character, since typically isekais are men. She is still overpowered, which there is magic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's magic, but it's like side.
It's plot. Kind of side. So this is like some Royal Academy stuff, and apparently there's magic also. So she is technically overpowered, but like we'll get to that later.
Yeah, she really doesn't seem to really care about that.
We don't care about that plot point. We're here for romance. And the fact that it's a dating sim game where you're supposed to be romancing men, and the men are trying to romance her back is the thing. Like, all the main one, Rod, is like trying to get Ray, actively like complimenting her and, you know, whatever.
Yeah, so she knows how to increase the like social link with each of the men because she's played the game so much.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's like kind of actively trying to not do that.
Yes.
But there'll be parts where like, oh, you know, I made really high scores on the exams because I knew all the answers to them.
Because it's written in the game.
Yeah, because it's in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And getting high scores increases the social link with this character. So,
and now he's like, wow, you're pretty smart. And she's like, don't talk to me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't talk to me. I'm not here for that. Which is just interesting. Yeah. Like, it's an interesting part of this whole, like, born into a game, another world. And then, yeah, another part is just that she's openly, they talk about it. She does not like men.
Yeah.
This main character does not have any attraction to men. And that is so cool. I think it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
She admits to just wanting to make Claire happy because there are parts where she tries to help Claire, like, get with her main love interest. But I'm just excited to see more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another thing that I appreciate, or that I was iffy on, actually. I was iffy on it, and now I appreciate it, was the art style of the game. Because I have played an online dating sim, or 2 or 3, in my past. And they all look like that. Which is to say, kind of bad. But in a stylized way,
mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. I've played those games, And at first I was like, this kind of looks bad. But then the more I was like seeing the character designs and stuff, I'm like, you know what? It looks like a dating sim, though.
It does, yeah.
It really looks like a dating sim. It's crazy, actually. It's kind of uncanny. But I've come to appreciate that about it. Were you watching? Were you continuing Overtake?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
I just want to mention Overtake, though.
Okay.
Overtake is it's such a crazy plot. Like, I was going to watch it, and then I realized that I actually have no interest in it. So basically what happens is that this guy is like, I'm a photographer, but because of some trauma, I have no desire to, like, quote unquote, do my best. And so I just kind of do whatever. But he's like well known enough and like big name enough to where he has like an agent. So he goes to this F4 race, which is like the lowest tier of racing there is, to photograph the really nice cars that go through the track before the actual race. And then he meets up with this team, this like really low budget team that no one expects anything from. And their driver is like, you know, I don't care about anything. I just do my best. And the main character is like, oh, wow, that's cool. And then he watches him race and he's like, wow, this is how you do your best. And then the racer crashes, or his tire blows out. And then he's like, man, that sucks. And then he like finds the racer after the race and he's like crying, obviously frustrated. And the main character takes a picture of it and he's like, I got it. And I'm like, what?
I got it.
So like, I like started the second episode and it's just like, he's like, I want to sponsor your race. And I was like, you know what? I actually don't care about this. Like, another racing one that's, I didn't even watch the first episode, but it's just because it has a funny name. MF Doom.
Ghost.
MF Ghost.
MF
Yeah,
Ghost.
MF Doom is an artist. MF Ghost.
MF Ghost, which is related to Initial D.
Yes, it's an Initial D spinoff, and it looks terrible.
Just like Initial D.
Abysmal.
Just like Initial D. Okay, wait. Actually, one more. Were you continuing to watch The Firefighter?
No, I was not.
Okay. There's also a firefighting anime out there.
Yeah,
but
also firefighting anime. It has low scores already.
It's
it's boring. It's kind of boring because it's kind of accurate to firefighting when it's like
a little too much.
It's that the first 15 to 20 minutes of the show, or like the first like 15 minutes of the show is them like, first off, it's in this really weird situation where like the entirety of Tokyo is on fire and like all of the buildings are destroyed.
Wow.
And excuse me. And they're like in this building and they're like bringing people out of the building and they're just yelling the entire time. And like, I get it because that's how it would actually be, because they have masks and stuff on.
Oh yeah.
But like, it's just so like kind of annoying to watch.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that is all that we are and are not watching.
Yeah.
This season. Some good stuff out there. Some things that we'll just see where it goes. But thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Konich-Yeehaw podcast. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Jared.
And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Yeehaw.